Target acquired. Do, 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 do. Here he is. Beautiful. Ooh, look at all those necks. Snap the neck. You won't see it coming. Beautiful. Snapping another neck. Snapped the wrong neck. How about if you could kill a yak from 200 yards away with mind bullets? That's telekinesis, Kyle. They think they can congregate under the tree, do they? Yeah. Hello everyone, my name is Atratzu, and today we are having a look at Valheim. This game was developed by Iron Gate, and it was released in 2021. At this time I have spent 50 plus hours and still counting. I'm not even close to being done with this game. However, I wanted to just kind of share what my experiences with Valheim have been so far, because after you spend enough time in a game, you start to lose the ability to, like, it's very difficult for me to talk about what it was like when I first started playing this game, because I've played 50 hours and I can easily see myself spending hundreds of hours. So after hundreds of hours, it's hard to remember anything that you might want to give as tips and advice for a beginner checking out Valheim. And I kind of want to do a little bit of everything, but by the way it's looking, I wouldn't be able to cover this video properly unless I spent several hundred hours playing the game. Even then, I still probably wouldn't be able to do it justice. At this time, Valheim is in early access, so that is kind of important to keep in mind that because it's in early access on Steam, it is subject to change. There are a lot of changes that can potentially be rolled out in Valheim. So, you know, beware what you see in this video is likely to change. Yeah, there's just a lot of changes that can happen. However, you can get the basic idea of the game, and who knows, maybe in the future after it comes out of early access, we might be back here and I might showcase some of the changes. However, we are looking at Valheim. So I just made a new world, new character. Let's quickly go and look at the main menu just so everyone can see that first. All right. So, Valheim is a Viking-inspired sandbox style game where you just run around, you make gear, you fight bosses, you get powers unlocked. It's inspired by Viking mythos, and it's a beautiful game. I've just thoroughly enjoyed it. The story is that the Valheim is the, like, afterworld where Odin has gone to retrieve his warriors. You're trying to, like, fight your way out of Valheim or something like that. I don't know. The story is kind of blurry to me. However, it's fun. It is really fun. So what you're looking at with the menu, you have settings. You can have some controller support. I had to toggle it off because it glitched out at some point for me. So yeah, I haven't played any with controller, but I did play with I've played with keyboard and mouse. I think that that's the way to go, but that's my preference. I haven't done anything with audio, graphics, miscellaneous settings, all of the, although I think I turned off camera shake now that I think about it. It's been a long time since I've done anything with that. And then you have the credits, new game, and then you have a choice between your characters, which you switch between it. Atratzu is naturally the character that I have been playing. And this character that I made just for today is Bjorn. I do think it's worth just, you know, looking at what is available right now, because that's going to change, I hope and think. This is the difference between male and female. As you can see, very big difference. There's no difference. There's no difference at all. All right, and then you have skin tone slider, so you can change your skin tone. This is your options for hair. Not so great in and of themselves. You have hair tone that you can drag to the side, so you have light, blondness. That's what's light or dark. So the tone is the red or grayness of it. Not much to do with it. The hairs, you have several different hairstyles that you can look with. However, the beards are what have won me over in this game. You've got braided 2, braided 3, braided 4. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. And the way that the beard physics are great. Long 1, long 2, short. Short 2, short 3, thick 1. So I look forward to and hope that there will be additional beards because this is fantastic. There's not much else that you can customize for your character, but honestly, don't worry. Again, look at what my character was. This is the perspective you see for the most part. You see the back of their head. So don't worry too much about character customization. However, again, just wanted to show that. Is there anything different for the hair? It's the same hair, only if you're playing a female character, you can't have beards. So why would you do that? Beards are such a great part of this game. After you select your character, you then get to select your world and your seed. For the sake of this video, and to not spoil anything, just for an introductory part, I made Drowner Frowner. I've been doing enemies from the Witcher series because I thought the Witcher seems appropriate, and I switched from playing the Witcher 2 to playing this game. So all the names for my worlds were based off of that. However, I wanted to see what would happen if I named a seed Whoa! So that's why I have Drowner Frowner, which is Whoa. But yeah, seeds that you can set up if you want to make a new world. This is what you see. You can join game. You can also start a server, community server. You can also invite people directly to your game, and you can have passwords. So the game warns you when you switch over, you know, beware any online server, put your game at risk. So you might want to make a new character for it, and then there are people that might cheat. Good luck. You know, again, early access game, it already has that available to be able to play it with people online. I'm sure there are communities and Discord servers and probably Reddit groups if you want to look up a community that you can join up with or just get a group of friends going. You can have 10 people in a world at this point. Right now you're not seeing anybody that's showing up because I have it filtering friends. If I just have community, then it shows it, but these are all password protected. I haven't actually taken the time to look through any of these if they have any unpassword ones, but naturally they're gonna have passwords on pretty much everything. So yeah. All right, let's get into the game then. Alrighty then. So you've already seen us fly in for the intro section of it. You fly into this world, you're dropped here in these Runestones, and McRavenface over here, Hewin, I don't know how to, Huggin, maybe that's how you want to read it. This is your tutorial Raven, and so you interact with tutorial Raven to find that, and then you have this to see where the boss is. So this is the boss, the first boss that you're supposed to take on, and this, yeah, Ruin is telling you what it is. You come back later, and then you drop off the antlers from the boss once you defeat it. So this is what you see when you first drop into the world. Let's just do a good old-fashioned looking over the user interface that we have here. To the top right, you have the minimap. As you can see, we came in from this direction. You have the minimap at the top right. I think the arrow is pointing with wind direction. Yeah. And then top left is your action bar here that you can organize and sort stuff with. Oh, look at that. New item. Getting new items all the time. Great. So this is, you press your number keys on whether or not you want to interact with that item or not. So if we put that there, we can press 2 and obscene. And then press 2, and then we equip it. Press 1, press 1. You get the idea. Bottom left, that's an important bar to be familiar with. What is that called again? Those 3 loops that are connected to each other. Is that like I thought that was a Celtic knot. I think it's called a Celtic knot. Let's find that out actually. Oh, I am good. Celtic knot. So that's a Celtic knot. That is representing your character's health. Right now we have 25 health. And if I was to take damage from something, that would reduce it. And then you also have the fork next to it, which represents how hungry your character is. The way that the health works in this game, and your energy too for that matter, is you eat food to... Oh, I shouldn't... Oh, I'm getting new materials. I'm just skipping ahead to doing stuff. You eat food to bring up the stamina, to bring up that bar, which then allows your health to rise. It also gives you more stamina. So currently, when I run, you see here that there's that bar at the center of the screen. That bar represents your stamina. You use stamina by jumping, by punching, by swinging a weapon, and Right now we only have 3 bars of it. Let's pick up all these strawberries. Wait, no, raspberries, excuse me. Raspberries. All right, get that one. And now would be a perfect time to demonstrate eating snack. All right, so you see the bar has increased, and it also shows that we have eaten we've eaten 1. There are 2 more things that we can eat over on the left there, and that's variety of food. So you can't eat 3 raspberries. It needs to be varieties of food that you can eat. So it's a good idea to carry a lot of different types of food. Also, if you want to talk to the eagle, not the eagle, the raven, you walk up, you press E, and then they talk. So, oh, he's just gonna hang around for a bit until we go through all of his tutorial stuff. So go away. So next up, let's talk about just basic movement. It's pretty straightforward as normal. You move around with good old WASD. You interact with E. You block with the right mouse click. You punch with the left mouse click. And then you have an additional attack. With your mouse wheel, if you click it in, you do a kick attack. And so that works pretty much with everything that you have. You attack with a torch. If you have a torch in your hand, you block. If you have it, that's a bigger deal if you have a shield or another weapon that you can put in between you and your enemy. And then there is no middle mouse attack for a torch at this point. Now there's inventory management stuff. I press tab to open this up. So you just press tab. This brings up this part of the screen. This shows you your crafting, that you're available to just craft right off bat. You need to make a crafting bench, but to do that you need to make a hammer, but we'll talk about that in a second. If you want to review any of the tutorial information that you have been given, you can review that here. You also have skills. These skills level up as you do stuff. So we've already increased running and jumping. I wasn't able to figure out exactly what difference these made. It didn't seem to make a significant difference one way or another. I didn't want to lose these skills, which is what happens when you die, but I didn't notice a significant difference between somebody who had already been playing for a long time and had a high running and someone who didn't. It's a bigger deal that you have eaten a lot of food to be able to run. So yeah, don't worry about that too much. Trophies, this is kind of, if they ever bring achievements to this game, it's going to be in the trophy section probably, and this just keeps track of different things that you've done. You toggle this to toggle PvP on and off. So if you're playing with friends and you don't want to accidentally hit each other, don't turn that on. So, as I was doing absent-mindedly, when you are picking up items, the first time you pick up an item, you're going to discover recipes related to that item. So we'll pick up the dandelion, new material, dandelion. You're not going to be able to do with stuff with dandelions for a while, but that is how you pick stuff up. So, first thing you do in most of these crafting type games is you first need to take down a tree. So we're going to just punch the tree. There we go. We got resin and we have enough to be able to make a torch. We could make a torch if we wanted. However, I think we are not going to do that. We're just going to get an axe really quick so we can get that part of it quickly. And I'm looking the ground. I'm looking on the ground for rocks. I'm not seeing rocks. Get here, you grayling. I'm going to punch you so good. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Falcon punch. So Valheim is not a necessarily safe game. You do have enemies that show up and attack you from time to time. As you progress farther into the game, sometimes the forest attacks you too, and you have to survive waves of enemies coming after you. So there's plenty of excitement to go around. Let's see here. What's in this chest? Nothing that I need right now. Amber. Right now, what is necessary are rocks on the ground. We can't do anything with these rocks yet, so we have to do this rock. Do we have enough to build an axe yet? Oh, we need more wood. Well, we can just pick up the branch. And now we have enough to make a stone axe. So now we're moving up in the world. So, as you were seeing with punching, we're not doing much damage to the tree. With an axe, Much more reasonable. And you also get to upgrade your wood cutting. Once again, I don't really know what that is doing for me necessarily. However, it's good. It's letting you know there's a sense of progression or something. That skill section just really needs to be fleshed out better. Next, let's make a hammer. Cannot make a hammer. Need to get more rocks, which is problematic. Where are rocks? Where are rocks? So I'm managing, there's a rock. I'm managing my camera by moving around the mouse, of course, because that just naturally takes place. And then I am mouse wheeling in and out. I mouse wheel out. This is the max camera distance away. This is the max camera distance following. Typically you want to zoom in if you're going to shoot with a bow and arrow, because yeah, it's a tricky skill that I had to work on to get. All right, you, stop it. I'm explaining to the people how to play this game, not you. Okay, we should have enough now for hammer. We have hammer. We are building hammer. We have hammer. Now we're talking. So the hammer is how you build in this game, and you building everything for the most part. If you are building stuff out of stone, if you are building a beehive, if you are building a ship, if you are building a cart, if you are building a chest, if you are building a wall, if you are building a roof, you are doing all of that with the hammer. The managing of items, like crafting like this, in this crafting menu, this is handled at crafting stations typically. So the hammer deserves its own short bit of tutorial here. So I'm going to the hammer by pressing 4. So I press 4, hammer's out now. I right click to bring up all the crafting options. Miscellaneous to craft miscellaneous things. Crafting, this is crafting benches. Building, and it looks like we can't really build anything right now. So let's build a crafting table here. Here? How about, red means it can't be set down. Invalid placement. Let's placement it over here. How about that? All right. Are we able to... There it is. Now we can build stuff. Get out of here. However, if you want to build stuff with the workbench, that is not an option because it needs a roof. So that lets you know the next project. The next project is to build a roof for it. And you can build a roof just as simply as doing this. Wall, up, out of wood. Need more wood. What a classic sentence to be said in a crafting style game. Just absolute classic. All right, let's build a roof. And as you can see, you have different styles and choices of roof. So you can do one of these. And oh, I don't want these here. I never have them there. Let's have that. And I don't want to chop down a tree properly just yet. Get out of here. Go, grayling. Yeah, you better run. All right, we need more lumber. And I'm going after the small trees for now. I've even in my current game, I still like to take care of small trees. I was always wondering whether or not the small trees would grow into big trees. You don't get to worry about planting and cultivating stuff until much later in the game. So if you're concerned about, like, you know, I was just like, oh man, what about reusable resources? Should I leave the small trees and bushes and shrubs so that they can come back? You just want to make sure you don't accidentally destroy raspberry shrubs. But for the most part, clearing the ground is so much easier because you can move around easier. There's another reason that we want to complete this bench. There is durability. So, station is too exposed. So, let's do some of this, I suppose. Normally, that's enough for the game, but it might need a little bit more. And give me a little this, and a little this. Is that enough? That's enough. So it's just a roof that you need to have, though it is a little bit tacky leaving stuff like this, but I've made a lot of small, just temporary buildings where I just set stuff out like that. So it is an option. And then here you see that you have more stuff that you can craft. So on our own, this is what we can craft. Stone, club, hammer, torch. here we can craft arrows and a hoe. So that is an option. Also, there is this repair item button, but I'm not going to do that just yet. Items have durability, and you repair them at no cost by clicking that. But I want to demonstrate what happens when an item runs out of durability first. So let's chop down a proper tree now, so that you can see one of the big parts of Valheim is tree dodging, because after you chop it down, there it is, there it is, there it comes, here it goes, there it is, and we have survived. So let's smack this a couple times, and it'll split into two. Man, these old axes are sure slow, especially when you get used to the newer ones. So it splits, and then it splits one final time, and this gives you a lot of lumber. Now, there are some trees that you can't chop out when you start. You can't chop birch trees. It says it's too hard, although you can still level up your wood cutting, apparently. It says it's too hard to chop down, so that's actually really smart because it is letting the player know, it's like good game design, it's letting the player know that there will be tools eventually that you can get that will be able to chop down that, whoop, timber. So, I'm currently frustrated with my stamina situation, so let's eat a raspberry. And now we have 4 bars of stamina, although I'm not waiting long enough for it all to come back, and we're having more health. If a tree falls on you, if a tree falls on Bjorn in the forest, does anyone hear it? Ah, there it is. So we are out of axe juice. So you can't punch your way through these trees. They are too tough for your knuckles. Minecraft Steve would have words with you. You repair, look that nothing changes in the inventory, but that the item, the hammer and the axe are repaired. And ta-da, it repaired all of these, including the armor. The only ones it didn't repair were the torches. The torches do not repair, you have to make new torches. There are a few items that are like that, that once they're extinguished, they're extinguished. Let's keep on chopping. This is basically the early gameplay of every Valheim game, is you need to gather resources first, and then you build your first homestead, and then you strike out on your own. That's really what you do for the first couple of days for the most part, is just discovering, exploring, and getting various resources. And that is really what my first probably 10, 20 hours in Valheim were. We're getting situated and just building stuff for the most part. So can we build chests yet? You know, yes, we can build chests now. So build a chest. Now we can toss all the stuff in here that we want. There is a limit to how much you can carry, so chests are important for that reason. And I press M to bring up the map here. And now I would say let's just explore and look around the area. So there are different biomes. So this area that we're in right now is the meadows. You can know that because at the top right of the screen it says meadows. When you go into a different biome, the name will change. And the biomes that the next biome that you'll encounter is the dark forest. At this point, if we wandered into the dark forest, Huggen will show up and be like, "Oh, this place is dangerous. You shouldn't be in here." And I don't have much else to say right now because night is falling. And we are just, oh, here's a deer. But we can't attack the deer because they're too fast. Got to make a bow and arrow, although you could sneak up and punch them, I suppose. But boy, that would be a lot of work to try to manage that. Any ocean stuff? I don't see any ocean stuff. Ah, here we go. The boars. These are the ones you want because they don't run away. They attack you. There we go. There we go. We got successful day hunting. Look at all that stuff. We now have the stuff to make a bow, which I would highly recommend getting a bow as soon as possible. We have the supplies. We have meat that we can cook. You can't eat it right now. I don't think you can. No, you can't eat the meat right now, so that's not an option. And I'm just going to continue romping through the meadows. Look at all these boars. Yes! This is what I need. Lunch. Bjorn will eat meat tonight. Come here. Ooh, it's a 1-star boar. That means that it's better quality. It'll drop more materials. It'll drop rarer materials. 1-star boars also have more health. So it's just, seeing a 1-star boar is great. I'm excited about that. Get out of here. Get out of here. And it's gone. How much are we looking at? Ooh, we are looking at good stuff right now. So, I have now taken us all the way to the ocean, which that's where I don't have much else to say. I have not gone into the ocean. We made a raft on our multiplayer game and we wandered out over the ocean, but a raft is just so dang slow going. All right, let's grab the flint. Flint recipes are really good. We'll want that. However, I would rather... There's a few things I got to do here. So over here is a lore runestone of some sort. Come here. Come here. Night is falling, which is not a good idea to be hanging out during nighttime. You interact with the runestones, and this is just giving you lore background stuff. In my own time, I mark down stuff on the map that I've seen it, so I just go, and then I just check it off, and ta-da! Now I have it marked on my map. You have to manage your own cartography stuff for the most part. There are abandoned structures that are all around this place. Is there any? Oh, okay. So there was a beehive that was hanging out over here, but that fell apart or something. Can we build a crafting table? Oop, we need more wood. All right, let's get more wood. Because for the sake of this video, or getting us started, I think that I'm just going to quickly repair this, and we'll work with this house rather than making a brand new house. A lot of cutting will need to be done to be able to make this a manageable amount of time. All right, let's drop this guy here, and no significant holes in the roof, it looks like. If you're trying to repair stuff, gah, you get out of here, Greyling. If you are trying to repair stuff, your hammer does that as well. You switch to your hammer, and then you right-click to bring this up, and then you switch to repair. Repairing does not eat up any resources. However, it does deplete stamina. So if we just, just spam our way through all this here and just... we are out of stamina, so we no longer can repair stuff right now. So there is a limit. Also, there is holes in the roof, which we don't want. Let's put a hole. Let's fill in that hole there and that. Oh, missing stuff, so we're not going to do that. We're going to take care of this log right now. So, let's talk a little bit deeper about how the building here works, because there is more to it. There is a gravity mechanic. So, do I have the resources to do anything crazy? No, not really. Let's get a little bit more wood, and then I will demonstrate some of the limitations on building in Valheim. And it's one of those things where it's just like the creativity... limitations breed creativity, I think is the saying. It's kind of like why you have a lot of like really creative old style video games, because people just had to make the best with what they had. And so that's one of those cases where the limitations here, it's not as free as in Minecraft or Terraria where you can set blocks anywhere and they defy the laws of gravity. No, that is not how it works in this. Let's eat before my character go. There is gravity to take into account. So let us demonstrate with putting a post here and here and here. All right. Gonna break on me? It probably should. This one will, though. So, all that demonstration to say that you can't just stick stuff anywhere. What you have here is a color... You? How dare you? I'm trying to explain stuff to the people. All right. What you have here is the color, which represents the gravity impact that's happening on it. So green means like you can build stuff off of this, no problem. All right, well now, you know, you might want to support it. Okay, you've got one more thing you can put on this, and that could go in pretty much any direction for the most part. I could build underneath it, for example, here, and this one should take the same color as this. Yep. And then if I tried to build something here, this one is going to fall apart because it's not connected to the ground. However, if I go fast, oh, dang it. Build under and build that there. All right, it's not set up ideal. It would probably be better here, and then I middle mouse button to destroy that thing. Oh, it's still off. Oh, come on. Come on, right there. Is this one acceptable? Yes, this is what I want. So now that we have a new support, you will notice that this is now all well supported. Well, this one's not as well supported, but this one is just fine. However, if we build out again, you will see that once again, we are limited here. I think this is the limit. I can't build one farther. Yep, that one breaks away. So there has to be a support system set up to be able to build stuff. And the higher you build, the more strain it is. And I ran into this problem when I was building a huge house after I had hoarded a bunch of resources. And I built a huge house and I set up the frames and all the frames were red. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this house. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Now there is something also, when you destroy something or when it falls off, let's notice really quick, we have 3 wood. Let's build on top of that. It'll drop. We currently have 1 wood. This should drop 2 wood. Unless, of course, it just doesn't. Let's add this farther out. Just... No! No, no, no! Alright, so we're going to do this. Alright, note, 3 wood. Here. 1 wood. Picked up 2 wood. In the top right of the screen, so you're not losing any resources. So all of this building that I did, we have lost nothing. Been able to salvage it and get all this wood back. So now that we have the wood returned to us, there is another important factor to know about it. Buildings decay over time. So if we do not put a hole, fix the holes in the ceilings here, the ground underneath it, oh, there's no floorboards right now. The ground floorboards will eventually decay, and they do it slowly over time, but if it is raining, then it really destroys it really quickly. And so you want to make sure that you put a roof over whatever you are constructing. So that's just a general rule of thumb. And just because I was experimenting on it, stuff like this, say you just had this one post, all right? This one post would eventually decay. Like it would just eventually decay during like a rainstorm or something like that. Now it will no longer decay during a rainstorm. And you could put like this underneath it and you'd be fine. Like this wouldn't decay here. Now I like that it has a snapping feature. You just kind of mouse over and it snaps to it. If you want to rotate something, you use the mouse wheel. But if you don't like the snapping in Valheim, you can actually hold down Shift, and that will let you place something wherever you want to place it. I haven't used this very much. I just use the snapping because the snapping is really, really useful. One of the only qualms that I have about building is that my mouse wheel is just utter garbage. So when I try to rotate something, it rotates smoothly and it locks in, but like one mouse rotation forward will sometimes be counted and sometimes won't. It's complaints that I've had in the past. It's really just my mouse's fault. That's what I get for having fancy gamer mouse. It's so good at everything else that it just becomes garbage at whatever I need it to do when it's not something that requires ultra sensitivity. All right, so I think that's pretty well explained the building mechanics. There's a lot of stuff to it, and it's nuanced, and you've got a lot of different things you can build. You can use wooden walls, you can build half walls. This is how you put windows in buildings. You can have front doors, you can have gate doors, stairs, ladders. You have this angle of a roof, you've got corner pieces. You have slants that you can put in. As you can see here, that's that slant. It's this one right here. You have various types of fencing that you can put in. You have planks in different angles. You've got cross beams. There's a lot to work with, and we're just looking at building materials. And this will increase as you get more variety of building materials, and so you'll unlock additional recipes as time goes on. You also have tiki torch, and then you have a bed, which beds need to have roofs, so we can just put that in there. Can we sleep really quick? Can't sleep at this time. Too late. What we have now done is we have now set our spawn point to this bed, so if we die, we will respawn at this bed. I don't have enough for a chest right now. Now, there is something else that you probably have noticed. It's this dotted circle all around here. This follows the crafting bench, and you can only craft stuff inside of it, meaning you can only place blocks inside of it. So let's just destroy this. Also, you can't destroy stuff outside of it either. So we now have enough that we could make a chest, so let's make a chest here. Ta-da, now we have a chest. If I wanted to destroy this chest, which you can't destroy it from here, you have to have the hammer out, and then if I interact with it, it says it's missing a crafting station. If I walk in that circle, the circle appears, and now I'm able to decraft it. If I step out of the circle, I'm no longer able to place items or build stuff. So yeah, that's just another nuance, another thing to know about. Valheim is that's how their crafting station stuff works. So typically what you're going to want to do from here, after you build yourself a home, which again, our home is just taking something else. What you're going to want to do after this is you're going to want to make yourself better armor. And since we've already picked up leather scraps, we can make ourselves... All right, what do we have right now? We have a tunic. Let's make pants. So now we have made pants. New item, rag pants. Now we put on pants. Now we're wearing pants. Once you make something, you can also upgrade it. However, you can't upgrade it unless we have an upgraded crafting station. So right now we have a workbench level 1. We want a workbench level 2 to be able to upgrade our rag tunics. And to upgrade our workbench, we need to use the hammer, and then we need to go to this one, crafting, and you want a chopping block, which requires 10 wood and 10 flint. And once you put the chopping block down, you see that there's a magical line that's attaching it to the crafting bench. That is saying that it will upgrade, the workbench will be improved, and that will then upgrade it to level 2, which will unlock additional things that you can craft, as well as allowing you to upgrade stuff. You definitely want to upgrade because it gives you more durability. More often than not, like, everything is better on getting upgrades, so I'd highly encourage that. However, you also want to craft, like, you have to prioritize what you're crafting, and then each one of these items, especially starting out, you just want to check out each one of these. You want to figure out how the bow works. You need to make arrows for it. Arrows, I still just carry wooden arrows because I practice with wooden arrows because I have wood in abundance, and so I practice with wooden arrows. But if I was going for a boss, I would get flaming arrows or something like that. You can make spears, you can make a club, and the club is typically what I fall back to. You can kill stuff with the axe like has already been demonstrated. But yeah, so once again, I think that's demonstrating the crafting. It's just there's so much that I'm just used to at this point. You just accept the rules of the game after you play it for long enough. You just don't think about it anymore. Because you're like, yeah, that's how it works. That's just how the game works. What do you want from me? So, next up would probably be a good idea to show how to cook, because cooking food is an important part of the game. All right, rocks out of the berry bushes. That's crazy. If you're trying to find flint, run across the shores here and just kind of like look around there. That's where you want to go. Ooh, that's an important thing to also be aware of. If you're swimming, your swimming requires stamina. If you try to go swimming and your stamina is low, you'll take health. Improve our Swimming improved to 1. Oh, the stinking tide. I want to demonstrate what happens. All right, come on, stamina. Oh, my stamina is fine when I tread water. It's when I move that I get in trouble. I never noticed that before. All right, so let's, all right. 2. We would drown real quickly, especially considering how hungry our character is. All right, more flint. I'm kind of looking for rocks, but I'm not seeing many rocks. I'm seeing lots of, there we go. Here's some rocks. And I'll take flint as well. All these big rocks that you can't do anything with. Feels bad, man. Feels Batman. All right, get that. And whoop, more rocks. Do we have enough to build a fireplace? Because that is what needs to be done next. 5 rocks. Oh, we're going to need a few more than just that for later. All right. Blasted birch trees. There's got to be some more rocks around here. And the reason why I'm holding my camera at this angle, in case it wasn't obvious, is that I'm looking down through the grass. This angle is tough for me to see stuff. So I like to hold the camera above to look through the grass. That's going to probably be a factor depending on like graphical settings that you have set for Valheim. So on lower graphics settings, the grass might not be nearly so obstreperous in this matter. However, for mine, this is just what I do, how I manage it. All right, we have enough rocks. Time to run back. Oh, and another rock. I will take that. So, notice also... Ooh, more of these. I do need these. The raspberry bushes are very good, especially early on. But these replenish over time, so you can always stop by these raspberry bushes. So it might not be a bad idea to just mark where berries are located. So you can always go back to them. But again... that's just a suggestion. You can manage your map however you want. Notice that on the map, well, I can also move at the same time, which is nice. There's now a bed that represents wherever you have set your spawn point, your respawn if you die. So that manages itself, but it might not be a bad idea to place a home and mark it likewise. So, oh, here we go. This is a good demonstration. Stuff is deteriorating. So, in daylight, it's much easier to see what is kind of slowly falling apart. So it's easier to run around and see that some of this wood is rotting, and you interact with it, and it fixes it all up. Now then, oh, we don't have any wood. We can't fix the hole there. We need... let's fix that, and fix that, and there's almost no wood, so we have to fix all the more stuff over here. Oh, I want the rocks. I want these rocks. I want to chop this tree. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down your day? Do 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 do. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? You know, one of the things that I never really get over with Valheim is just how gorgeous the game is. Which, just take a moment, now that the fog weather has cleared, just taking a moment just to like look over the landscape that has been generated, and just the basic building that's just been repurposed, and some of the forest logs that have been felled, and then seeing the sun setting off in the distance. It's just all of these little things together. The styling, the Viking, the Nord inspiration. It's all what really adds together that really makes Valheim such an amazing game for me personally. It's all these different elements that come together that make such a unique, pleasant experience for me, which is why I definitely have enjoyed my time with Valheim and will continue to enjoy my time with Valheim. However, we jump to this point because I want to demonstrate some more stuff. So first off, I want to demonstrate what happens when you are over encumbered. So, when your weight is maxed out, your character stops picking up stuff, but if you force them, you become over encumbered and you move very slowly. And this slow movement eats up your stamina. And once your stamina's out, you just stand here and there's nowhere you can go. But you can toss stuff. And the way that you break items apart is you hold down shift and you left click. You choose however much you want to pitch out of your inventory. That's how you split the stack. Or you could have just, you know, pitched it out there. Ta-da. Now stuff is coming back. So that's why it's especially good to make sure that you have a chest on hand that you can put stuff in, because the chest doesn't need to worry about that. So since the last bit was shown, I've repaired the house. I made a flint axe because I was getting really sick of the nonsense with that stone axe, let me tell you. And we have all the stuff that we need to be able to get cooking. Now there is something else that I wanted to demonstrate before we started cooking. It was the necessity of a fire. So, unclaimed, I moved my bed, but if you try to sleep, you need a fire. So, you need to place a fire somewhere nearby the bed. It can be on the other side of the wall, that's perfectly fine. So, we'll place a fire here. So, now that we have a fire, we can go to sleep. And this is how you fast forward through the night. I would probably recommend doing it this way. You're more likely to be attacked by graylings or monsters during the night, so it's just kind of a good idea to have that available. All right, whoops, I forgot that that was even a risk. I'm on fire. So, let us start making food. So, to have stuff, there's a couple of different things to keep in mind about the fires. First off is that you need to add wood to fuel the fire. Eventually the fire will burn out, just like eventually this torch will burn out if you don't add resin to it. And to cook stuff on the fire, you need to build a cooking station. You can actually have more than one on a fire at a time. Then you just interact with E and you watch it cook. That's what happens. Once the meat changes to a cooked form, then it is edible. And we will demonstrate the goodness of eating meat. But you do have to wait a bit for it. It's kind of a process. So we want one of those and two of those. All right, we have cooked meat. Oh, am I about to die from fire? You know what? Let's demonstrate death while we're at it. Oh no! Gah! When you die, your headstone is dropped. Then that raven, real helpful. I'm glad that it showed up. Your headstone is dropped. You respawn at wherever your spawn point has been set, or back at the runes that we were at when we first joined this game. So since our spawn point was in this house, we're able to spawn here. Now you will notice we are not wearing anything. We have nothing in our inventory. We have lost all of our items. You get them back by interacting with your headstone. And now your items are back. If you ever forget where you're at, you have the crossed bones and skull. That tells you where you died, and that stays there. That stays there to remind you of your failure for a very long time. It's embarrassing. I don't like it. So, if we want to be effective, we need to re-put our gear back on. So, we put on the shirt, and now we put on the pants, and now we are wearing armor again. And oh no, I somehow forgot that I put meat and it cooked too long. That's how you can get charcoal. And there are better ways to get coal than overcooking meat, so I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I did want to demonstrate getting charcoal. Now we have 2 types of food. I would like to get one more, which should happen here soon with the beehive actually, but I'll have to wait on that, I guess. What we can do is we'll eat one food, and now we'll eat the other food, and now watch watch the stamina and the health just roll on in. You can recover health faster and in greater quantities, I think, or it's just in greater quantities, by resting, which if you look at the top right of the screen, there are some buffs that are currently going on. We are rested, so our comfort is currently 4. The more comfort we have, the more we get back. I think shelter or like all those are playing factors into recovering health. And we're rested now. Yay! Now, because I died, we lost some skills. It's not that noticeable. It's more noticeable when you're when you've been mining for literal days and you die and your mining goes back under 50 and your mining was above 50. So it seems to hit you harder the higher of a level you are in it. So again, I don't know if it makes that much of a difference, but you know, I don't want to lose my levels. I worked for them, I got them, I earned them. So, this is definitely more than enough probably to get you started. What I would recommend from this point, if you're looking for how to progress, I would say make a bow, hunt down deer, make all of the leather equipment that you can, make one of each kind of tool, try them all out, figure out what playstyle you like, and then explore. And you want to explore. Eventually you want to take down this boss, which to take down this boss you need to bring trophies to... You need to bring trophies to him. Do we have any trophies right now? I'm just trying to remember. None. You get trophies occasionally when you kill various monsters. So Eikthyr requires deer trophies. So you need to hunt down deer, and then you present a deer trophy, and then he spawns, and the boss is significantly harder to fight. But if you get fire arrows and a bow, you can do it pretty easily. Just keep kiting them for the most part. But yeah, this is probably a good idea to get you started. Now let's start spoiling stuff. So if you're just looking to check out Valheim and you just wanted a quick start guide on what you're going to get yourself into, hopefully this is enough for you. And I would recommend clicking off if you don't want further stuff down the line spoiled. I think a big part of Valheim and the enjoyment that I've had of Valheim is the discovery aspect of it. You can't bring up your inventory and then just be like, oh, I can craft this, this, and this. You find out as you play the game, as you get new materials, what you're looking for. However, it is slow paced. It's really relaxed. You can't really rush it. You have to go slowly about finding all the different resources. And I'm even at a point, like with my game, that I haven't gone over the ocean at all. I know there are sea monsters, which absolutely terrifies me in real life. There's so much more to explore in this game, and I'm still just getting started. And again, I'm looking at 50 plus hours, and I'm still feeling like I'm getting started. A lot of the people that I've seen writing Steam reviews have multiple hundreds of hours. I could see this at some point taking up as much time as something like Junk Jack or Terraria or Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley. I could just see this as being one of those kind of games that I have thoroughly enjoyed, and it's still early access. So it's just, there's an incredible amount of stuff that's available for this game. But let's switch on over to my world. And a bit of a short story of what's going on here and why I have 3 worlds. Leshen Cruncher was the world that I made to play with my brothers. So we ended up getting this game. Well, they gifted it to me because they wanted me to play it with them. And I was like, no, please, I have too many games to play already. But they gifted it to me because my brothers are generous and I think they like my company. I hope they do. And Leshen Cruncher was the first world that I made. But the problem is that I was carried. So they were like, oh, this is the spot that you want to build. And I was like, okay, I don't really know what I want to build. And so I decided rather than, like, I didn't want to leave my buildings in Leshen Cruncher because I was like, what if they get destroyed? So instead I made Necker Wrecker. And so I wanted to make my own world where I could experiment on stuff and not worry that I'm destroying stuff that my brothers built. We didn't spend that much time on this one, probably maybe 10 hours or so on this world. And I made Necker Wrecker, which has been what I've spent most of my time playing. So let's load in here. Let's start talking about some of the more exciting stuff that I've unlocked further on down the line. For people familiar with Valheim, they'll recognize that I'm wearing the troll armor, which I got off of killing trolls for the most part. And trolls, this is a good example of the troll here on this loading screen. Trolls are huge, lumbering monsters that best are taken down with bows and arrows. So, let's have a look here. For experimental sake, I built this, I built a couple of structures. I built my first house up there, but I also built this down here just because I wanted to see what kind of impact just a structure would have if I just left it on its own. And were there, I wonder if there were chests down here. I remember I had chests down here. Those chests might have been destroyed eventually by these graylings. So it might not be a good idea to have chests that are kept down there. The items that pop out of stuff last for a while, I think, but it's just best to keep your stuff in a chest for the most part. And yeah, all this is managed, but it's taken some damage. So again, unattended buildings, you run the risk of losing it. Once you take down a boss, you unlock an ability to be able, to take down Eikthyr. You then have the ability to run fast. You bring back this, you get the blessing of Eikthyr by putting it there, and this is telling you how many more bosses I need to take down. The next one that I need to take down, excuse me, you get out of here. The next boss that I need to take down is over here, the Elder. There are several Elder spots that I could go to, actually. I could go down here, or I could go over here. So that's the next task that I should be working on for bosses, but I haven't been working on that. I've been building. Oh, look at that. It's taking damage. But I don't have a crafting station, so yeah, I have to build one of those. All right. I want it. I want it. So bad. Behind and lead the target. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Yo! Beautiful. The Gyo gets him every time. All right. And yes! Oh, beautiful. I'm glad that you were here to witness that. I get really excited about the hunting aspect in this. All right, that's enough out of you. That's enough out of you too. Get out of here. I could just be, I'm sorry, I'm in gathering mode right now, and that's just how I play this style of game, is I just gather stuff. So that's why this game will take up a lot of my time. So the next thing that I built was this house, which was on a slope, and I got to see the pain of stuff that decays when it's not underneath the roof. So here you see that all of this wood is rotting away, whereas this wood is fine. So that was early experiments on how important it was to have a roof above something. I also learned about smoking myself out of my house accidentally, so that's an important thing to have that. You also want to have a roof over your fire, because when it rains, that puts the fire out. That kind of is problematic. And then I thought what I was going to do, I thought I was just going to bring all of my materials here. And so I thought that I was just going to set out portals and then bring all my materials here. But I discovered later on that you can't actually take, you can't take bronze or copper or tin through teleporters. It's got this icon at the top right of it over here. And it says, cannot be teleported. So you can't teleport, you can't put materials in your inventory and then teleport with them. So what I decided to do instead was to build different outposts. So I built a teleporter over here, and this is where I decided to build because this is in the dark forest, so I wanted to be able to get materials and ore in there. And then what I've also been doing is I've been gathering resources along the sides here, and then I've been making short temporary outposts. Never mind, I didn't die there. Don't worry about that. It's perfectly fine. I've been making temporary outposts, and I've been grabbing... I left the spawners here. Spawners left alone. Okay, good. I've marked where ore has been, and then I've gathered the ore, bring it back here, and any other materials I just slap into chests, and I organize them later for the most part. And so this teleporter, I thought I was going to make a teleporter room, and I still might at some point, but this was my first teleporter that took me up here where I made my most ambitious buildings, so we will finish with that. Later on, you're going to be able to make a smelter because you get ore, but you need to smelt it down to an actual usable version of it, and you need to combine copper and tin together to make bronze. So this is just, again, that part. And all the smelter runs on coal, so you have to bring coal to this end here. It's currently full of coal, and then you have to bring the ore to the other side. You pop it in there, and it eats coal. And then if you want a charcoal kiln, yeah, well, you need a charcoal kiln, and that converts wood to charcoal, which, again, that's just what you want to do. As you play, you unlock additional crafting benches. So, as has already been demonstrated, this is a level 4 crafting bench, which is pretty decent. And then you also have over here a forge, which lets you build various types of armor. It also repairs metal items. So the crafting bench will not repair my bronze axe or my bronze pickaxe, because bronze is only repaired at the forge. But once again, there's no cost. You can repair it, but that is only available to you if you have a forge. So if you join a new game, your equipment is going to break, and you're going to need to make a forge, and you're not going to be able to make a forge because you won't have the supplies for it. So, yeah, keep that in mind. I've got all of these bees. There is a bit of a rule for how bees work. You have to have enough open space for them, and then if you interact with them, it says the bees are happy, which means that, you know, the bees are good. As you can see, I've been harvesting honey for a long time. You have a cauldron, but we need to have a fire under it, and I'm out of wood. Tactless. So, over here, you have all these different things you can build, and all these different upgrades. I recently got the stone cutter stuff, so I finally have been able to start working with stone, which was really exciting. The problem is I'm still trying to figure out where I'm supposed to get iron. There's a few different new biomes that I've been exploring, and I found iron once in one of them, but I haven't found it consistently. I've also been dabbling with how the brewing in this game works. Again, it's all very Viking, very amusing. You can only build stone stuff if you have a stone cutter table. So again, re-emphasizing that I'm trying to get iron. That's my current project. And then you also have different types of furniture that you can put inside of your house to make it more comfortable and more decorative. And then miscellaneous, this is how you can build a boat. If you want to build a carve, is how you pronounce that? I don't know. You need fine wood, which you get from chopping down birch trees. You can only chop down birch trees once you get yourself the... Come on. Once you get yourself the bronze axe, that's what can chop down birch trees. And you need fine wood, you need deer hide, you know how to get deer hide, you kill deer. Resin, you get those from trees. Bronze nails, you get nails from interacting with the forge right here. And the nails are... I don't see them right now. I'm blind. Bronze nails. No, not bronze nails. We want... Wait, was that bronze nails? It is bronze nails. Okay. As opposed to... Well, that needs bronze nails too? What required copper nails? There's something that required copper nails. Bronze. Huh. Okay. I thought something required copper nails, but I guess I just wasn't paying attention. Maybe copper nails aren't actually a thing. Alright, well, sun's going down. Let's take a nap. Alright, let's take the first teleporter and have a look at... So the first teleporter is going to take us over here. This is just the project that I've been working on currently, which has been just finding materials off into different areas. The way that the portals work is you have to build 2 of them. To build portals, you need to have a... What is this item called? You need to have a... let's just say it's a core. I can't read if that's an R or not right now. Surtling core. You need to have 2 cores, and those are found in crypts or dungeons or whatever they're supposed to be. Wherever the I call them crypts and dungeons, but they're just catacombs or whatever. That's where you have to go to be able to get those items. And then what you do is you place it and then you name it. and you have to name one portal. So like I name this the lazy port because I'm lazy and I'm just teleporting over here, not doing a permanent thing. Anytime if I want to build something else somewhere else, I can destroy it, and then I can set it down. And it's unconnected, so since it's not connected, it's not taking me anywhere, and we can set it to take me away. Oh, well, we don't want that. Neverland. So it's unconnected. There's nothing called Neverland that I have any portals set here. So instead, let's do lazy. I wonder if the caps matter. Ah, they do. Lazy port. There it is, and now lazy port is connected. So let's do an experiment live. I've never tried to take the cart through a portal before, but I've always wondered if I could. You're finding out for science live. Nope, can't take that. Can't take the portal with a cart. So you might be asking yourself, Atratzu, why do you have a cart over there in that part of the world? The reason is because I know that I'm gonna need to. This might be problematic, actually. All right. The reason is because I know that I'm gonna need to transport the ore by hand. So let's put this here, and lazy port, and. So here's the ore that I currently have, and I'm going to need to transport all of this by hand eventually. So when you load up a cart, it's good to know also that the speed that you can travel also slows down. So moving stuff on a cart is kind of tricky for that reason. So just more stuff that is probably good to know when you get into it. But yeah, I'm going to load up that cart, and I'm going to run all the way around here back to home right here. I would try going this way, but I know that that's a bad idea because the slopes here are just impassable. There's no point in doing that. However, if you want to see what this area looks like, there's mountains over there. Just this game is beautiful. I love it, man. More mountains over there. And then over here we have a dark forest. This is kind of, it's sort of a dark forest. We go over here and, oh, black forest. I've been calling it the wrong thing this entire time. Dark forest, black forest, who knows, who cares? So let's run on over here. Do we switch to mountain? Can we switch to mountain? Yeah, mountain. Top right of the screen, it's telling you when we're changing biomes. So those are some biomes for you right there. To explore mountain stuff, I've just started to learn about that. I needed to craft bronze armor, otherwise the wolves will tear you to shreds. And I needed to make a special brew that made me immune to cold damage. And you need to drink it. Alright, now to run off to the next area. And I like putting up walls like this because it funnels enemies when they're attacking me through one predictable spot. Enemies could attack the walls themselves. Like, I wouldn't really want to put too much stock in this if there was a troll that was attacking me. That wouldn't be such a good idea. But for Greylings or any other NPCs that I've encountered, skeletons and stuff, this forces them to go through this gateway here, and then their pathing becomes a whole lot more predictable. Also, this area used to be full of trees, and I just chopped them all down. Deforestation! And here we are at the most ambitious part of the game. This was the first hut that I built, and I try to do different things and build stuff differently in every area until I find a setup that I like. This one, I built it on a rock as well, so it's just all that experimentation on trying different angles and building different things. And that's when I started to get the idea of just building walls out from whatever I built. And I like building walls for another reason too, because if I chop down a tree, the wall will stop the tree from running into buildings and stuff. So it's handy like that. And then there was a runestone here. This wasn't supposed to be the almighty crafting room, but that's exactly what it became, because this area quickly developed past what my starting area is, because ore can't be transported, so it's just easier to just build here. And this is the granddaddy project that I have worked on for oh so very long. This masterpiece of human engineering. This was such a project. Oh my goodness. This was several days of setting out the I had to set out scaffolding. All right, let's pick all these up. 4 honey is the most that you can get out of this, but that's fine. I just want that. Yes, all the honey. And we'll run over here. All the fires are out right now. And then I just set a bunch of beds. Is that a spawn point? Why is that set as a spawn point? My spawn point's back here right now. Oh well. So I wanted to set up a whole hearth-looking thing of all these different fire pits and this huge open ceiling area here. Once all the let's light all these fires. Do we have any wood? No. Let's get some wood really quick so that you can see what it looks like. Because I did it for the atmosphere. That's why I did it. I wanted to build something that felt like something that I would want in real life kind of thing, you know? So we'll do that and that one. And we will build these two. Ta-da! Look at this. Oh. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh. Oh, I love it. And we can sit at the bench. God, it's the best. You don't even know. It's one of those things that I don't know if I've ever tried to describe this. There's a satisfaction to building something that you're proud of in a video game. And people that have done it, I'm sure, would empathize. Those that don't feel anything and that are playing a game just to beat a boss or something like that, probably just they're not into it like that. But for me, it's just like I built this because I wanted to build something massive, something big, something with symmetry. So I wanted to build a unique structure like nothing else that I've built before. So I wanted this whole overlook area. I wanted multiple floors. I wanted to see what could be done. And to build this, I needed to build scaffolding. Like I needed to build floors along the edges here. I needed to use the ladders to be able to explore, to be able to get up to areas that I needed to. Like I had to set stuff there to be able to do that. Now, it's also a good idea to have a look up here, see how red that is. Oh, it's so red. Oh my goodness. It is so... I couldn't build it any higher than this. Stuff just wants to fall apart on me. This is incredibly big, and I wonder how much more tall I can build stuff when I get stones, when I get to work with building stones. And that's where I'm like, all right, I'm getting closer to the castle building part of the game. And once I get to the castle building part of the game, I'm sure I'll be hooked all that much more. But for now, I've just built stuff with wood, and I just love it. Fantastic. Once again, atmosphere. So it's raining now. It's all nice and toasty inside of this room. Like, oh, it's so good. It's like ASMR to me. Although I don't listen to ASMR, but it's just like, you know, like listening to like the sounds of the ocean, or listening to rain falling on a tin roof or something like that. That's what Valheim captures for me. And so it's just almost therapeutic to play it and to relax and to enjoy it. This is another building that I tried to build with different style of construction, having it open up here. I like this watchtower setup a whole lot more, actually. And, oh, I forgot I built an additional teleporter because I was needing to get farther in. This is the cooking station. So this is where I can ferment stuff. This is what you need the pot for, to be able to ferment things. And over here, I worked on cultivating. So let's pick all these up. And we'll get these. Cultivating is a good idea as well because it allows you to build, make better food. Making better food seems to be like the next step, one of the next steps that I need to work on in the game. It's just, you upgrade little by little, bit by bit. Alright, those are all upgraded. And let's put these in here for now. I'll deal with converting that to seeds another time. And then over here, we have the teleporting building. And as I build additional buildings, I just make new pathways through here. By the way, now that we have a pickaxe, you use a pickaxe to lower the ground. Flattening ground is kind of a big deal in here. Pickaxes are to flatten, but you can also use the hoe to flatten to an extent as well, but it's limited, as you can see. So if you need to get it lower than that, you have to take out the pickaxe, hit it, and then flatten it. And if you need to raise the ground, you need to be able to have 4 stone in your inventory, and then you'd be able to raise it, but we don't have 4 stone. Also, you need to be in the crafting area for that. For just making a path or something like that, you don't need a crafting table, but everything else you do. So over here, I intended to make several different portals here, but for now, I've only got 1 portal, and I set up this portal because I've got all these stones that I'm not using, and I labeled this one Swamp Portal 1, which is right here. It's multifaceted. I wanted to do that because I also wanted a spot where I can access the ocean really easily and where I can build a boat to get to the Elder. It might be a better idea to build something over here at some point and then launch a boat that way, but, you know, it's a work in progress. And here we are. The last one. I tried to do a basement thing here. I was like, yeah, I'll build up and I'll build the portal in the basement. So I was thinking about keeping it safe. That was the goal. And then this is what the swamp looks like. I had to work hard to get here. It took me a long time to get to the swamp, and there's something up here. This huge mountain. I don't know what's up there, but like this is where I left off, and as you can see, we're back in the meadows technically, but there's just tons of stuff still to explore. I've got lots of beds all over the place. There's all kinds of resources that I'm transporting here and there. You can't move ore through the teleporter, but you can move other things, and so there's a lot of moving around items. Let's press F to invoke Ichthyr, which then lets us run more. Oop, let's eat a snack though too while we're at it. Notice I now have all 3 food slots full. I can't eat honey even though I have plenty of it. So we won't be able to eat again until one of those gets empty. And then we can eat another item, and then that will, ooh, mushrooms. I'm sorry, I need this bus stops for all mushrooms. There's one more thing that I want to demonstrate, which was, again, another big, not that way, another big experiment project that I was working on. Okay, this isn't copper ore. It says copper ore when you mouse over it. All right, let's go this way. And let's not freeze this copper ore, not copper ore. So, I built a bridge over here. Is this copper ore? This isn't copper ore. How about you? Not copper ore. How about you? Not copper ore. It'll make sense if I actually come across any ore, but it's unlikely that I'll come across it. It's when you mouse over it, you see that there's like blueberries that showed up here. It's one of those kind of like the text will show up and be like, hey, you should probably pick up this item because it's important. It'll say that for tin as well. Here it is. So tin deposit. So if we want tin, which I have the weight, I can carry it. We'll just mine up this tin, and now we have tin. And it'll say the same thing for copper ore when you look at it. This bridge, oh my goodness. This bridge was such a project. And I see that the stairs are dying. That's not good, but oh well. This bridge was, again, it's just like ambitious project. So my goal was to put a roof over it, but oh no. Oh, that's bad. I'll need to repair that at some point. That tells me that the bridge can fall apart, so maybe bridges are not a good idea in Valheim. Learn from my mistake, I suppose. I don't know what to tell you. Oh boy. That's gonna be such, that's gonna be so hard to repair. Oh, okay. So that was the other thing that I built. And then I leveled this ground because I was expecting that I would take ore and that I would then transport it up here. So I'd make kind of a road all the way through there. That was my plan anyway. But as you can see, 50 hours in, still learning, still finding out new stuff about it, still losing buildings. Oh, item prevented you from teleporting. Quick, bring it to the forge. Run over here. This is this area's forge. And I have a system here. My system is wood goes here, and then the wood gets put into the charcoal kiln, and out comes coal. And then raw ore goes here, and once raw ore pops out, it goes over here. So that's how I organize it. It's my system, you know. I just make it work for me. Will it be better weather on the other side of the portal, though? I doubt it. Nope, still rainy. Well, I think that is it for this video. I'm sure there's more stuff in Valheim that I could demonstrate. Again, I've got better armor. I've made bronze armor as well. This should be enough to get people started and then some. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you. I appreciate it if you have made it through the video this far. I know this has been another long video, but hopefully if you're interested in Valheim, you've been able to make a decision on whether or not this is a game that you want to check out. My name once again has been Atratzu, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, beautiful.